I still remember the feeling of solitude out in the tall grass with crickets for company. Down with the kingfishers, swans say hello to me. Over my shoulder the horse whispers restlessly.
Hi, I'm Jack from Wolfolk Bushcraft. Today I'm doing a little video. It's been requested by a few people off of a forum wanting to see how I set up my hammock. Now, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. There are lots of other ways, and I may not be doing it correct, but this is my method. It works for me. The way I've got my kit set up is I've got lots of stop points along the line if I do get any drips or anything like that. So just take you through what I'm using today. I have the DD hammock. This one I believe is the front line. It's the one with the waterproof base and the mosquito net, which I find quite useful. I have used it as just like a bivvy arrangement with a tarp over the top on the floor, but mostly I use it as a hammock setup. Then within this I've got my suspension kit, which is my tree hugger, my homemade whoopee sling, carabiner, a spike for my marlin hitch, a soft shackle, homemade again, which fits onto the shortened tapes that actually go onto the hammock itself. I shortened these basically because there was just way too much. They're really good at wicking down water to your hammock and getting you wet when it really rains. And on that note, what I've also done is I've put some grommets on both strings. Again, that just helps stop drips when they're travelling down. And in addition to all of that, I've put myself a little gear hammock underneath my main hammock. Just means I can get my rucksack, my boots and everything off of the ground overnight. It's all underneath me, keeps it nice and safe. So only one thing left to do, and that's get it set up. So I found myself a spot. I've kind of roughly placed out a couple of trees. I wouldn't say it was the most ideal place to set up camp, but it'll do for the demonstration. It's just over 5 paces long between the two trees, which should be about right for me. Anyway, let's get it set up. So there you go, within a couple of minutes the main basis of it is up. I've got my suspension sorted, and what we'll do is we'll just give you a quick walk over of what I've done, why I've done it, and why I've got all the bits there. Okay, so let's just take a moment to talk through the actual setup as it stands here at the moment. Tree huggers on here. I don't know if you could see from the wider shot, I've actually wrapped it round several times. I always try and keep it flat. My aim really is not to damage the tree or cause as little damage as possible. Now there are lots of different ways you can do this, but I like to go around a few times, then come through here, come down to a marlin hitch. Now yes, I do carry a metal bar. I know that this knot is actually self-supporting, so it should be taking the weight on that knot rather than on here, and I could use a stick, but personally I carry this. It's not failed me yet, it's a few ounces, so I'm not that bothered, and I just drilled a hole, put a split ring on it so I can hang it all together. So let me show you the marlin hitch. All I'm doing is I'm making a loop, folding it up, pulling another loop through, and I'm just putting something in to arrest it, like that. I've then got my carabiner. Now for those of you that can see the weight limits on here, yes, you're quite right, it's not suitable for arresting someone of my size, and I should have something a bit beefier, but I've taken the personal choice to go with these. They work for me, and that's all I'm going to say really. You know, it's your call what rating you have, but I find the compromise between size, weight and packability works for me. Coming further down, we've got the homemade whoopee sling. For those of you that want to make your own, there's plenty of tutorials online. I'm not going to bore you with it, but basically, yeah, I bought myself a length of Dyneema. I had some of these little beads that I've fitted on myself, and again, I'll just hang the line up so it's out of the way. It's not going to get tangled up or anything like that. In stronger winds I might do a slightly different knot because it will drop out. Come further down, we've got again another homemade soft shackle. I had a bit of Dyneema left, so got busy with it. Then we'll actually come down to basically the start of the hammock. So you've got the neck of the hammock here. These are the tapes that originally came with the hammock. I've shortened them, knotted them off. What I also did was I threaded on a couple of more grommets. Now I've just spotted that this one really wants to be around here, but these are all things that I would normally pick up on if I was doing it in a little less speed. But again, water coming down, meets this junction point, drops off. If it doesn't, and it comes further down, it'll come off at the knot, come off at the grommet, or come off at the grommet on the other side. So again, there's lots of different steps running down here that's in place to stop water getting down to my hammock. These things will wick. I can't stress that enough. I have previously used the full length of these going straight out to my tree huggers, and woken up in the morning after heavy rain, and the actual hammock itself is wicked all the way down to here into my hammock and through, and it almost got down to my head, which wasn't particularly comfortable because my clothes I use as a pillow, and they got damp in the night. So just a few things to bear in mind. As I say, this isn't the definitive way to set things up. This is just what I do and what works for me. So let's move on, get the final bit sorted, get the hammock out and tied up, and you can see it all finished. Okay, so now you've seen that, why that's all set up as it is, I shall finish it off and get the last few bits out. What we're going to do now is just peel back the skin, get it so that we can hold the mosquito net up out of the way, and then we're fit to go. You know, you'll be ready to hop in and have a little snooze. So let's crack on with that. Okay, so let me talk you through what we've got here then, really. So, I don't know if you can see this on here, but there's a series of loops across the top of the hammock here. What I've done is I've just put a stick in the first and last, just opens it all up, gives you a bit of face space on the inside. We've then got this bungee cord here that runs back up. Now I'll either tie it off to the tree, the suspension system. If I've got my hammock, there's probably the ridge line there as well. What this allows is if you want to actually get in the hammock and it goes down, this will stay taut and pull up, but it's not going to damage anything if it pulls too hard. And back up to here. This is one of the electrical grommets that I use. I've just cut a little small hole in it here, threaded it onto the string. So basically now, if rain falls on here, runs down to here, all it's going to do is hit this and drop off, rather than running all the way down here and start dripping on top of me in the night. Because this is nice and loose, that will just move up and down as needed. Actually coming down to the hammock itself, and what we'll do, as you can see it's exactly the same the other end, is we'll just quickly come underneath, around to the other side, and I'll talk you through some of the modifications that I've made on this. Now, the hammock itself comes with this extra waterproof piece underneath. That's permanently affixed to it. You've got these nice Velcro dots. That I'll often put my air mattress into, so I've got something a little bit more substantial underneath me. I've never really ever bothered with an underquilt, mainly because I have so much gear on here that it would be too much. But also I generally don't get that cold, and I have camped out in like -10 with this rig. So this is my little cargo hammock, or utility hammock, that again, come back up to here, I've just attached on nice and loose. I can get it off quick if I need to, but what it does give me the opportunity to do is I can put my rucksack in here, and then that will just go underneath and swing underneath me. Here I've actually got another net for my shoes, so I'll always know where they are. They're clipped onto here. They'll be in the utility bag or in the utility net. Again, just a couple of small little carabiners that clip on, that allow me to lock everything in really, so it doesn't fall out. With the zips, now a lot of people struggle when they're actually in their hammock to pull up their zips. So all I've done is I've attached a loop of cord between the two zips themselves. So once I'm actually in my hammock, all I've got to do is grab the strings and I can pull it all together, and it comes up nicely to me. I've only done that on one side, but what I do is when I'm getting in, that'll be tucked away there, out of the way, fully opened up, get in, start pulling, pull the string out, pull them up together to me. And again, I'll probably have them sticking out overnight, just so they're out of the way and I'm not catching myself on them. So there you have it. That's how I set my hammock up. I more often than not have a tarp over the top as well, but that's for another video. So I hope that's been of some use to you. As I say, it's not the only way, it's not the ultimate way of doing it, it's just my way. I'm Jack, this is Wolf Oak Bushcraft. Thanks for joining me.